Hi everybody. On pages 43 and 44 of Butin's The Education Dissertation, he talks about using the ERIC database to make an academic word bank. I really liked that actually, and it helped me learn a few things about my study that I hadn't known. But anyhow, I made an access database to make it a little easier for me to do a count or analyze what I found in the search, so I thought I would share it with you in case you're interested. Anyhow, he suggests going into the ERIC database, which to do that you go to our library page, click on databases, type ERIC, and search. It'll pop up. Now, I don't think you have to connect if you're on the Athens campus, but I always have to connect when I'm at home or on the Lancaster campus. So we will be very patient. I will be very patient and wait for that to come up. You see it says I'm searching ERIC, and I'm going to put in the keywords as Butin recommends. I'm going to use online public school and say search. Oops. You know what? I also want to go back and refine my search, which I should have done before, to scholarly peer-reviewed articles. And I'm also going to restrict my publication date so I don't have anything before 2006. Even though Butin doesn't say you have to get this from academic journals, it seems to me to make a lot of sense. We're talking just about the keywords. So anyhow, he talks about keywords. When we search the database, you'll see on the list of search results, the subjects come up. So I just highlight all of those. I hit Control-C to copy. Now if you're on a Mac, you'll use Command-C. Then I go into Word, and I want to paste this as text only. So I can click on this paste and say in the A. If you want to, you could also, well, I'll show you that the next time. Notice that each one of these terms is separated by a semicolon and a space. I'm going to make this bigger so you can see that a little bit better. A little bit crazy big. You also notice I like keeping the reveal codes on. That shows me the spaces as a dot, and this little reverse P is an indication of a new line. If you don't have that on, you click it off, the spaces will just look like a blank space, but I find it very helpful to keep that on whenever I work in Word. Knowledge is power, I guess. So then I go down, I'm going to scroll down to the next one, highlight those subjects, Control-C to copy, back into Word. Now I'm going to add a semicolon and, oops, love that, a semicolon and a space before I go in and paste the text. Now last time I clicked on this A, if you don't have this version of Word, you can go into Paste Special and choose Unformatted Text, and you'll get the same result. Come back over here, scroll down, highlight the next group, Control-C, semicolon space, paste the text only, come back over here, highlight the next group, Control-C, come down here, semicolon space, paste just the text, come back over here. Now I think he recommends that you go through and find one that actually relates to your topic, and of course that makes a lot of sense, but here we're just looking at technique. So I'm not paying a whole lot of attention to that. Semicolon space, paste, and this. All right, so I'm going to stop here. In real life, I would have gone on and done a few more. In fact, with only 17 results, I probably would have done them all. The next thing I have to do is replace the semicolon in the space with a new line because I want each of these to be a record. So I just go into the editing menu, choose replace, and in the find what box I put the semicolon and my space. Apologize, I know you can't see that very well, but trust me, it's a semicolon and a space. and I replace it with the code for a new line, which is the caret or shift 6 and a lowercase p. Make sure that's lowercase. So up in the find what, I have semicolon space. In the replace with, I have a caret and a p. And when I say replace all, changes all mine, gives me a count. And now you can see each term is on its own line and it has that new line marker. Now if you wanted to, you could just highlight these and sort this whole thing, and then you'll see like terms grouped together, but we're going to go ahead and import this into the database. So I'm going to do File, Save As, and it's very important that you save it as a text file. So if I go here to where I want it to be, and I'm going to change the Save As type from a Word document to plain text and give it a name. In this case, well, I'm redoing this as a demo, so I typed in Word Bank Text. It's going to tell me I already have it. That's okay. I'm going to save it and replace it. And then you have to close, finish all the OKs. Then close Word. You can't have this open while you import it into the database. So next thing, you go into the database. If you'll see, there's only one table there called phrases and then 2 queries. The one query is going to let us empty out the phrases in case I had some in there already. And this is a redo. And another one that counts the number of times each phrase appears in my list. So just, even though this is new, I'm going to say run this query that's going to delete my data. Here it says I'm going to delete 0 rows. If I'd had records in there, it would have shown me a count. Next thing I'm going to do is go up to external data, pick text file, go and browse until you find that file that we just created. Here's my word bank, and I say open. And then I'm going to click append a copy of the records to the table phrases and say OK. Now had I left this open in Word, it would have given me an error message, so you have to make sure you have closed it in Word. Shows me my choices. I want to go with fixed width as the type or the layout of the data. Click next, next, and it says import to table phrases. That's correct. So say finish and then sit and wait, and hope it works. That's a good sign. It does not say any error messages. Now I didn't save the import steps. I almost did, but that would I couldn't do that for you because you'll have yours browse location in a different place than mine. But if you think you're going to be refreshing this periodically, you could say save import steps, and then when you get to the external data, you can use a saved import. But for now, I'm not going to do that, so I say close. Now if I go into phrases, there are all those phrases that I had found and that I read in. In fact, you can see there's 63 of them, which matches pretty close to the number of semicolon replacements it did. Now here's the fun part. Click on this query count phrase hits, and here it lists in descending order all the phrases and how many times they showed up in those lists that I gathered. One thing that I learned that I did not expect is for my searches, this elementary, secondary education, I've been using K-12, and apparently that's not my best choice. I should be using this term, elementary, secondary education. So anyhow, I hope this helps. If I were going to do this again, I would close all my tables and queries. I know that I have all these phrases in here. I don't want to import again because it'll just add to what I already have there. So before I import again, I'm going to delete all of the ones that are already in there. I say yes. It says it's going to delete 63 rows. Now I go in here and I'm nice and clean and fresh. Okay, bye. I hope that helps.